There comes a time in life when the forces of the universe begin to move in ways that defy all logic, all expectations. If you are here, if these words have reached you, understand that this moment is not random. There is a shift happening, one so profound that it will alter the course of your life forever. The weight you have carried, the battles you have fought, and the storms you have endured are leading you to a moment where the world itself will recognize your power. The time has come. They will bow before you. For years, you have moved through life with an energy that others could never quite understand. You have faced struggles that seemed unbearable, walked roads filled with obstacles meant to break you, and stood in the fire without retreating. And yet, here you are, stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever before. This is the mark of the chosen. You are not here by accident. Everything you've endured has prepared you for this moment. Look back at your journey. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment of loneliness, it was all part of a grand design, a blueprint written long before you took your first breath. Life did not throw these challenges at you to destroy you. No, life shaped you, tested you, and refined you so that when the moment of your ascension arrived, you would be ready to rise without hesitation. And now, that moment has come. You see, the world has a way of trying to diminish those who are destined for greatness. People fear what they do not understand. They ridicule what they cannot control. And when they see someone walking a path that is divinely ordained, their instinct is to resist it, to fight against it. You have felt this resistance. You have seen the envy in their eyes, heard the whispers behind your back. But despite their attempts to break you, you kept moving forward. That is why they will bow. Not because you demand it, not because you seek power over them, but because your presence, your resilience, your unshakable purpose will leave them with no choice. You are no longer just surviving. You are stepping into your power. There is an energy within you, a force so strong that it cannot be ignored. It is not something that can be taken or given. It is something that has always been a part of you, waiting for the right time to be revealed. And now, the universe is aligning in your favor. The same people who doubted you, who laughed at you, who underestimated you, they will soon come to realize the depth of your strength, because the truth cannot be hidden forever. The chosen one does not walk the same path as others. Your life has never followed a simple, straightforward route. There have been twists, turns, and moments when you questioned everything. You have watched as others seemed to move forward with ease while you were forced to fight for every inch of progress. But what they had handed to them, you earned. And that is why your victory will be unlike any other. The world is beginning to see what was always there. The quiet strength you carried, the wisdom you cultivated in silence, the battles you fought when no one was watching. These are the things that set you apart. Others may have underestimated you, but they will not be able to ignore you much longer. Your resilience is not ordinary. It is divine. You have been through storms that would have shattered lesser souls. You have faced betrayals that should have broken you. You have walked through darkness so thick that even hope seemed like a distant memory. But through it all, you endured. You rose. And now, you stand on the threshold of something greater than you have ever imagined. There is a reason why you are not allowed to give up. There is a reason why even in your lowest moments, something deep inside you refused to quit. That reason is this: your story is not just about you. Your rise is not just for your own benefit. The world needs to see what happens when someone refuses to bow to adversity, refuses to let the darkness win. Because when you rise, you do not rise alone. You are a symbol, a living testament to the power of perseverance, of faith, of an unbreakable spirit. And those who once stood against you, those who tried to hold you back, they will witness your ascension with their own eyes. They will see the truth that was always there, that you were never meant to remain in the shadows. Your journey is not one of chance. It is one of destiny. Every step you have taken, every trial you have faced, has been part of a greater design. The setbacks were never punishments. They were preparations. The betrayals were not meant to destroy you. They were meant to refine you. The struggles were not roadblocks. They were stepping stones. And now you are stepping into the fullness of your power. The moment is near. The energy is shifting. The world is about to witness something extraordinary. Because when a chosen one finally steps into their true power, there is no force. They will bow. Not because they are forced to, not because you demand it, but because your greatness, your strength, and your undeniable presence will leave them with no choice. You have always been destined for this moment. And now, it is here. There is a moment in every great journey where the world begins to take notice. The tides shift, the energy moves, and what was once hidden in the shadows comes to light. That moment is now. The forces that once stood against you, the doubts that once clouded your path, the people who dismissed your strength, one by one, they will come to understand what has always been true. You were never ordinary. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to rise. For too long, you have moved in silence, carrying your battles alone, pushing through obstacles that others could not even comprehend. You have spent nights wrestling with uncertainty, days questioning whether the struggle was worth it, wondering if the universe had forgotten you. But it did not. The universe was never against you. It was preparing you. Every challenge, every hardship, every painful lesson was refining you, sharpening you, turning you into something unstoppable. And now, the world is beginning to see it. There is a power in those who have suffered, a wisdom in those who have endured. You did not reach this point by accident. You did not stumble upon your strength. You built it. You crafted it in moments of isolation, in the fires of disappointment, in the relentless pursuit of something greater. This power within you was never given. It was earned. And that is why it cannot be taken from you. They will bow, not because you seek their recognition, but because your very presence demands it. You see, people fear what they cannot understand. And those who have never walked the path you have walked will never truly comprehend the depth of your resilience. They have watched you struggle, but they did not see what was happening beneath the surface. They saw the setbacks, but they did not see the transformation. They saw the pain, but they did not see the wisdom it created. And now, as you rise, they will struggle to understand how you emerge stronger, sharper, and more powerful than before. That is the nature of the chosen. You were never meant to be understood. You were meant to be witnessed. Think back to the moments when you were overlooked, when your kindness was mistaken for weakness, when your silence was misjudged as submission. Those who doubted you did so because they could not see beyond the surface. But their vision was limited. They did not realize that in your silence, you were listening. In your struggles, you were learning. and in your patience, you were preparing. They believed they had you figured out, but they did not realize that your story was only just beginning. The time has come for you to step fully into who you were always meant to be. No more hiding. No more waiting for permission. No more allowing the doubts of others to shape your path. The world will no longer have a choice but to recognize what was always there, the undeniable force that is you. But here is the truth. The power you now carry is not about proving them wrong. It is not about revenge or validation. It is about alignment. It is about stepping into your truth without hesitation, without fear, and without concern for how others perceive you. When a person truly knows who they are, when they embrace their purpose without apology, the world cannot help but take notice. This is why they will bow. Not because you seek their approval, not because you need their recognition, but because power, true power, cannot be ignored. You were not created to chase recognition. You were created to embody purpose. And when purpose meets unwavering confidence, the energy of the universe shifts. Doors that were once closed begin to open. People who once doubted you suddenly want to align with you. The same voices that once dismissed you will whisper your name with respect. This is the moment you have been moving toward. This is what all the struggle, all the hardship, all the late nights and lonely roads were for. There is no force more powerful than a person who has embraced their own destiny. And you, right now, are standing at the threshold of something unstoppable. Every great figure in history has walked this path. They too were doubted, ridiculed, overlooked. They too endured moments of silence where their worth was questioned, their strength was tested. But they did not stop. They did not allow the opinions of others to dictate their purpose. And in the end, the world had no choice but to recognize them. The same is true for you. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to justify your journey. You do not need to convince anyone of your worth. All you need to do is become fully, unapologetically, and completely. When you stand in your truth, when you move with confidence, when you operate with an unshakable belief in who you are, the world will adjust accordingly. Those who doubted will step aside. Those who underestimated will be forced to acknowledge. Those who once dismissed you will have no choice but to respect you, not because you demanded it, but because they will bow to the undeniable. The old version of you, the one that sought approval, the one that hesitated, the one that questioned their own power, that version no longer exists. You are now stepping into a higher form of yourself, a version that no longer waits for permission, a version that no longer explains, a version that moves forward, not because of external validation, but because the power within you refuses to be contained. This is your time. This is the moment when everything changes. You will no longer shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You will no longer seek permission to be great. You will no longer dim your light because others cannot handle the brightness. You will rise. And when you do, the world will have no choice but to take notice. Because power does not ask for recognition. Power is recognition. And when you step into your full power, when you own your truth, when you move forward with the confidence of someone who knows their destiny, they will bow, not because they are forced to, but because they must. Because the universe has already declared it. And no force in this world can stop what has already been set in motion. The moment is near. The world is shifting. The energy around you is aligning, and the whispers of destiny are growing louder. You have felt it, the silent but undeniable force pulling you forward, the unshakable knowing that something bigger is happening. It is no longer just an idea or a dream. It is real. It is unfolding. And soon, the world will witness what was always meant to be. But before you step fully into this power, understand this. The path ahead is not for the weak-hearted. You have already endured the trials that tested your strength. You have walked through fire that should have consumed you, and yet you remain. Not just standing, but rising. Not just surviving, but evolving. And that is why they will bow. Not because you seek their submission, but because your presence commands it. The truth is, not everyone will understand your transformation. Some will resist it. Some will deny it. Some will cling to the old version of you, the version they were comfortable with, the version they believed they could dismiss. But they will come to see that you are no longer the person they once knew. You are something greater, something they can no longer overlook. You see, when a person truly steps into their power, the world reacts in one of two ways. It either embraces them or it fears them. Those who are ready for change will be drawn to you, seeking your wisdom, your energy, your guidance. But those who are trapped in their own limitations will resist you, trying to pull you back, trying to make you doubt yourself, trying to keep you in the space where they felt comfortable. But you did not come this far just to turn back. You did not endure all that you have just to remain the same. You have stepped into a new reality, one where fear no longer controls you, where doubt no longer paralyzes you, where the opinions of others hold no power over your destiny. And because of this, they will bow. Not because you demand their recognition, but because they have no other choice. The moment you truly accept your own power, everything changes. The energy around you shifts. People who once overlooked you begin to feel your presence before you even speak. Situations that once felt impossible suddenly align in your favor. Opportunities that were once hidden reveal themselves. This is not magic. It is the natural response of the universe when someone embraces their true self without hesitation. The world has always had a way of trying to suppress those who are meant to lead. It tries to make them doubt themselves, to make them feel small, to convince them that they are not ready. But deep inside, you have always known the truth. You have always felt the power within you, waiting for the right moment to emerge. And now, the time has come. This is why your presence alone will command respect. Not because you seek to control others, but because true power does not need to announce itself. It simply is. It moves through you, not in arrogance, but in certainty. And that certainty shakes people. It disrupts the illusions they have built around themselves. It forces them to question everything they thought they knew. Some will be inspired by you. Some will be threatened by you. But none will be able to ignore you. This is why you no longer have to prove yourself. You no longer have to fight for validation. You no longer have to explain your journey to those who refuse to see. You simply need to be fully, unapologetically, and completely. Because when you step into your power with unwavering confidence, the world adjusts accordingly. The same people who once doubted you will come seeking your wisdom. The same voices that once mocked you will speak your name with respect. The same doors that once remained closed will open without resistance, not because you forced them open, but because your presence alone demands it. This is the law of energy. The stronger your belief in yourself, the stronger the response from the universe. If you move with hesitation, life hesitates to give you what you seek. If you move with confidence, life aligns to match your energy. That is why those who doubt themselves always encounter resistance, while those who move with certainty seem to attract everything effortlessly. You are stepping into a space where hesitation no longer exists, where fear no longer has a voice, where you no longer ask for permission to be great. You simply are. And because of that, they will bow. Not out of submission, but out of recognition. Recognition of the power that has always been within you. Recognition of the truth that can no longer be denied. Recognition of the force that no longer asks for approval. It simply moves. It simply exists. And in its presence, everything changes. This is what happens when you step into alignment with your destiny. You no longer wait for signs. You become the sign. You no longer chase opportunities. They seek you out. You no longer explain your path. You walk it with unwavering certainty, knowing that every step is guided by something far greater than the opinions of others. And that is why they will bow, because true power is undeniable. It does not need to be spoken. It does not need to be announced. It does not need to be proven. It simply is. And when you embody that power, when you walk into a room carrying the weight of every lesson, every hardship, every victory that has shaped you, those who once overlooked you will be forced to take notice. You are no longer waiting for recognition. You are no longer seeking approval. You are no longer asking for permission. You are stepping forward as the force you were always meant to be. And in your presence, the world will shift. Because when true power enters a space, when someone who has embraced their destiny moves without hesitation, the energy itself demands acknowledgement. They will bow, not because you ask them to, but because they must. Because destiny does not request recognition, it commands it. The moment you embrace your true power, the entire landscape of your life begins to change. No longer are you held back by the limitations that once confined you, or the doubts that kept you small. Instead, you step into a reality where everything that was once impossible now becomes attainable. This is not a coincidence. It is the natural progression of someone who has risen above fear and fully claimed their destiny. You see, the world is designed to test those who are destined for greatness. The path is not easy, nor is it straightforward. It is filled with obstacles meant to sharpen you, with resistance meant to strengthen you. And while others may crumble under the weight of adversity, you are different. You do not break. You transform. You do not retreat. You rise. And this is why they will bow, not out of submission, but out of recognition of your undeniable spirit. There will always be those who doubt you. They will question your motives, your vision, and your strength. But their skepticism is not your concern. It is merely a reflection of their own limited perspective. True visionaries are never understood in the beginning. They are ridiculed, dismissed, and overlooked because they dare to see what others cannot. But when their vision becomes reality, the same voices that once mocked them fall silent. This is the path you are on now. You have faced the disbelief, the naysayers, and the setbacks. But instead of letting their doubts diminish you, you used them as fuel. Every obstacle became a stepping stone, every failure a lesson. You turn pain into purpose, and now you stand on the precipice of greatness. Understand this: your rise was never meant to be quiet. You were not created to hide your light or to play small. Your power was designed to disrupt the status quo, to challenge the norms, and to inspire others to do the same. When you step fully into your truth, you create a ripple effect that reaches far beyond yourself. Your courage gives others permission to be brave. Your strength inspires others to face their own battles. Your triumph shows others what is possible. This is why your presence alone will command respect. Not because you seek validation, but because you embody a truth that cannot be denied. You have walked through the fire and emerged not just unscathed, but transformed. The world will recognize this transformation. They will see the confidence in your stride, the clarity in your vision, and the unbreakable spirit that now defines you. There will be those who resist your rise, who try to diminish your success or undermine your efforts. But their resistance is futile. When you are aligned with your purpose, when you move with the power of conviction, no force in this world can stand in your way. Their attempts to bring you down only reveal their own insecurity. Do not waste your energy trying to convince them of your worth. Let your actions speak. Let your results speak. Let your presence speak. And as you continue to rise, you will find that the world around you begins to shift. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will present themselves effortlessly. Connections that once felt strained will fall into alignment. The same people who once doubted you will come seeking your advice, your insight, your guidance. This is not arrogance. It is the natural response to someone who has fully embraced their power. But remember this: true power is not about control or domination. It is about influence, about impact. It is not about forcing others to follow you, but about leading by example. The greatest leaders in history did not demand respect. They earned it through their actions, their integrity, and their unwavering commitment to their vision. This is the path you are on. You do not need to shout your greatness from the rooftops. Your presence alone will speak volumes. There is a calm confidence that comes from knowing who you are and what you are capable of. This is the energy you now carry. It is an energy that cannot be faked or forced. It is the result of every battle you have faced, every setback you have overcome, and every victory you have earned. It is an energy that commands respect without words, that inspires loyalty without effort, and that creates change without force. This is why they will bow. Not because you demand it, but because true power cannot be ignored. And as you step fully into this power, you will realize that your journey was never just about you. It was about something much greater. Your rise is a signal to the world, a reminder that no matter how dark the path may seem, light always prevails. That no matter how strong the opposition, truth always wins. That no matter how great the challenge, those who refuse to give up will always find a way. Your story is not one of chance. It is one of choice. Every step you took, every decision you made, led you to this moment. And now, you stand on the threshold of a new reality, one where your dreams are no longer just possibilities, but inevitabilities. This is what happens when you align your actions with your purpose, when you refuse to let fear dictate your path, and when you believe in yourself even when others do not. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the path ahead seems uncertain. But in those moments, remember who you are. Remember what you have already overcome. Remember that you are not just anyone. You are destined for greatness, and greatness is never easy. It requires sacrifice, resilience, and an unbreakable spirit. But it also comes with rewards that others can only dream of. As you continue to rise, do so with humility. Remember the lessons that brought you here. Remember the people who supported you, who believed in you even when you struggled to believe in yourself. Use your power not just to elevate your own life, but to uplift those around you. True greatness is not measured by what you achieve for yourself, but by the impact you have on the world. And when the world finally recognizes your power, when they see the truth that was always there, do not let it change you. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay true to your purpose, because the journey does not end here. It is only just beginning. The same power that brought you this far will take you even further. The same strength that carried you through your darkest days will propel you to even greater heights. This is the nature of destiny. It is not a destination. It is a path, one that you are now walking with confidence, with clarity, and with the undeniable force of someone who knows exactly who they are. And so, let them bow. Not because you demand it, but because they finally see what you have always known. You were born to rise, and rise you shall. The rise of a chosen one is never quiet. It does not go unnoticed, and it does not happen in secret. It is a force that shakes the foundation of everything that once stood in its way. And now, that force is you. You have walked through the fire, endured the tests, and emerged as something greater than the world expected. The trials were never meant to break you. They were meant to prove you. They were designed to see if you were truly ready for what is coming next. Because the level of power, wisdom, and success that you are stepping into requires one thing above all else: certainty, not hesitation, not doubt, not fear, but absolute unwavering certainty. This is the defining trait of those who are meant to lead, to transform, to elevate. When you move with certainty, the universe moves with you. Doors open, opportunities arise, and paths clear, not because you force them to, but because your presence alone is enough. This is why they will bow. Not because you command it with words, but because you carry an energy that cannot be denied. There was a time when you questioned yourself, when you wondered if you were truly capable, if the struggles were worth it, if the dreams in your heart were even possible. That time is over. The version of you that doubted, that hesitated, that waited for permission to be great, that version no longer exists. You have stepped into something new, something unstoppable. And now, the world is beginning to see what was always there. But as you continue on this path, understand this: power and purpose will always be met with resistance. There will be those who do not want to see you rise. Not because you have wronged them, not because they wish you harm, but because your greatness forces them to confront their own limitations. Your strength reminds them of where they have chosen to remain weak. Your success highlights their own fears, but their resistance is not your problem. It is not your responsibility to shrink so that others feel comfortable. It is not your duty to dim your light so that others do not feel inadequate. You were not created to fit into their idea of who you should be. You were created to rise beyond it, and rise you shall. You will notice something strange as you continue forward. The same people who once dismissed you, who doubted you, who ignored your presence will begin to shift. Some will suddenly want to be in your space. They will act as if they always believed in you, as if they always saw your potential. Others will resist harder, clinging to their false perceptions, refusing to acknowledge what is now undeniable. But none of this will matter, because by this point, you will no longer be moving for them. You will no longer need their validation, their support, or their recognition. You will be moving for yourself, for your purpose, for the destiny that has always been waiting for you. And this is the most dangerous kind of person, the one who no longer seeks approval, the one who no longer hesitates, the one who no longer waits for the world to acknowledge them, because they have already acknowledged themselves. This is where true power is born, not in the need for control, not in the demand for respect, but in the simple, quiet knowing of who you are. And that knowing is enough. It is enough to shift the energy in a room when you walk in. It is enough to change the course of conversations without saying a word. It is enough to make people feel your presence before they even see you. Because true power is never loud. It is never forceful. It is never desperate. It simply exists. And in its existence, it changes everything. This is why they will bow. Not because they are forced to, not because you seek their submission, but because your presence alone demands recognition. Because when a person truly steps into their power, when they move with unshakable confidence, when they embody their destiny without apology, there is no force in this world that can ignore them. And so, you move forward, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. Gone are the days of explaining yourself. Gone are the days of waiting for validation. Gone are the days of questioning whether you are ready. You are ready. The moment has arrived. The time is now. And the world is about to witness the rise of something they cannot stop. Because when the chosen one finally embraces their destiny, there is no turning back. There is only forward. And those who once doubted, they will bow. Because destiny does not ask for permission. It simply is. There comes a time in every journey when the weight of the past, the struggles of the present, and the unknown of the future all converge into a single moment of realization. This is that moment for you. The time when everything that has happened, every challenge faced, and every doubt overcome has led to an undeniable truth. You were never meant to remain in the shadows. You were meant to rise, to lead, to embody the power that has always been within you. And now, as you step fully into this realization, the world around you has no choice but to take notice. The resistance you have faced, the obstacles placed in your path, the people who tried to hold you down, none of it was by accident. The universe does not waste its time refining those who are not meant for greatness. It does not test those who are not capable of passing. The hardships were never meant to break you. They were meant to prove you. They were placed in your life to shape you into the force that you have now become. And because of this, they will bow. Not in submission,